Hello internet YouTube family, welcome back again to my amazing YouTube channel, where today I just want to have some little time of reasoning, because there is something that has been on my mind for quite some time, and I thought it could be wise to bring it forth so that maybe you can also have a look at it and give your opinion on it. First of all, I want us to have the reality on the ground, even as we do the reasoning towards this topic. But first and foremost, before we dive into our topic of today, I want just to plead with that one person who is joining us for the first time in this our channel to kindly consider subscribing. Consider subscribing and join this amazing YouTube family, because by doing that one, you will be supporting the channel. Okay, without much ado, let's dive into our videos of today. Now, I want us to have at the back of our mind the real situation that is on the ground in terms of job hunt, in terms of hustling by our young people or by people who are fresh from school. I want to engage a parent, a guardian, or any young person out there who is struggling to look for finance so that he or she maybe can go and pay for his academic tuition. Okay? So I want to pick the example of a parent who has a child who is supposed to join school, but the parent is struggling financially. The parent is struggling to an extent, sometimes even putting food on the table becomes a problem. But you have a child who needs to join college or a university. So where will you turn to? Where will you hold so that this child can manage to join school? One, maybe if you are lucky enough, you can access the financial institutions like bank, maybe you can go for a loan. But if that is also not possible, maybe if you have an asset that you can auction out, maybe a piece of land or an item, you can go for that. Okay? So let's assume that this child wants to go to college to do a diploma course. So let's pick the diploma course. The diploma course, what is the fee for the diploma course? Let's take the diploma course to be 200,000. Okay? Maybe a course for 2 years. Let's work with 200,000. I don't know whether it is on the lower side or high. But let's 200,000 be our guide. Okay? In this discussion. So you are looking for 200,000. So you don't have this money. Maybe you decided to go and auction your piece of land. So you want to take this 200,000, you go and drop it into the school account so that the child can be allowed in, can be admitted. So you have done that one, the child has been admitted in school. So this child will take the required period, let's say 2 years. Then finally the child will be out of school. Okay? So the child is coming out of school with a positive result. The child has marvelously performed well, and as a parent you are proud. Now this child is coming out with a lot of hopes and expectations to get a job so that he can bet for the betterment of his life, his parents, and also his siblings. Not knowing that the reality on the ground is different, that the society is not welcoming and the society is not friendly. This child will take the better part of his times walking around from one office to another looking for a job. It will be an exercise that he will do for a certain period of time, but it will come a time that the child will give up. So the child will give up because of all his efforts that he has been putting, nothing positive seems to be coming on his way. So he will lose hope, he will lose the morale of waking up early, carrying his papers to walk around the offices, the companies, dropping his wonderfully written resumes, hoping to get a positive call. This child, because this child cannot clothe himself, he cannot feed himself, again, this child comes back to you as a parent. In other words, he is still under your care. All the basic needs this child can still not provide for himself. So remember now, this child has added more salt to the injury to an extent that you are struggling financially, you went for a loan, or you auction your only asset, hoping that after the child has gone through the school, he will secure a job and he will be able to assist you financially. Or to assist you to offset the loan that you took for his education. But because that one has not been the case, this child remains under your care, remains with you, with no hopes, but with good papers. And so you are left with the loan to pay, you have a loan to finance, even as you struggle also to put food on the table. So as a parent, you become demoralized, you become so ashamed of the society, okay? Sometimes we put unnecessary pressure on the child, unnecessary blame on the child, not knowing that it is not the child's fault to secure a job. He has tried his best, but nothing seems to be coming. Most of these children, where do they end up to? They end up on the streets. They end up starting engaging in activities, all sorts of activities they could come across in the name of surviving. And sometimes they end up in crime activities. Again, don't forget that every year our learning institutions releases thousands of graduates into the labor market. Every year they come out of learning institutions in good number, hoping to get a job. But the funny thing is that our governments are not prepared to receive these graduates. There is no mechanism, there is no system in place to absorb them. The people we place in authorities, at least to create an opportunity for such kind of people, have turned to auction the positions to the highest bidder. And so the positions are on sale to whoever will come with a fat pocket. And so what about you, a parent who is struggling? How will your child secure? How will your child compete with other children who are from families that are stable financially? Does he have a chance? No, he doesn't. This is now where I want us to have a say, to have a reasoning, to have a thinking, whether it is something worth. Because you could get 200,000, instead of going and dumping this 200,000 in the school account, this is what I'm trying to say. Don't send the child to college. Explain the reason as to why you are doing this. Take the child to the agency. Get a job. Let the child come over to the Gulf. The reason as to why I'm choosing Gulf jobs is because coming to Gulf is a bit cheap. And there are a lot of job opportunities of coming to the Gulf. And again, the exercise and the requirements is not that tedious compared to someone who wants to go to Europe. Okay? And so you are 200. Can take the child over to Gulf. When the child gets over to Gulf, any of the country that you will choose, he will go through the local procedure of registration, getting the residence permit, and all those. After 1 month, after some few weeks or 1 month, the child will start work immediately. The child will work for a period of 3 to 4 months. Then the 200,000 loan that you took, you shall have offset the loan. You shall have repaid back the loan. Okay? You shall have repaid back the loan. Now thereafter, the child will be at liberty now to start enjoying his money. Because he wanted to go to school to do a course, Qatar has got a good number of learning institutions where the child can join. We have the online classes and we have the physical classes. It depends with the mode that he will choose. And again, the child has got an opportunity of supporting you back home as a parent, not forgetting his siblings. This is something that he could not do while at home. He better come direct to Gulf. He starts job, he starts working immediately, even as we go through his education process. You shall have killed 2 birds with 1 stone instantly. I want to tell you that this is an idea that you will never regret as a parent. This is an idea that is worth trying. Don't misquote me. I'm not refuting the fact that going to school is good. No. Going to school is good, and I support it 100%. It is good, and it is the dream of every parent to take the child to school. But now, what is the essence of taking the child to school, sacrificing your little earned money, take the child to school, then with a lot of hopes and expectations on the child, then by the end of the day, the child comes out with good papers, but nothing to put his hands on. The child again turns back to be a burden and a luggage on your back. I don't know whether you agree with me on this, but it is okay. We don't need to agree 100%. But to me, I based my reasoning on the fact of how things are on the ground. Our graduates, how our young people find the society whenever they come out of learning institutions, how our governments are behaving in response to the jobless state of our young people. And therefore, to me, I believe that there comes a time where we have to break the normal norm of going to school, getting papers, then coming out to start hustling. Because that normal norm seems not to be yielding enough results. So to me, I prefer now we break the norm. Get a job first. Because there is an opportunity of getting a job first. Let that child come to the Gulf, secure a job. Then he can go back to class. Okay? He can go back to class. Now, when you go to the Gulf agency, the kind of jobs that you will get, they are jobs that majority of us back at home, we despise them. We despise them as jobs meant for people who never made it to class. Okay? But I want to tell you that those despised jobs here in the Gulf are well valued and they are well paid. Okay? For your information, do you know someone who is working as a T-boy is earning a good money, far much better than some of our government employees back at home? Did you know that? So that one tells you just how good these jobs are valued over here and how well they are paying. But again, the child, because he has got an opportunity of going back to school, he can go back to school, get his good papers, then also he has got an option of changing the employer. The government of Qatar has laid down a well-laid procedures of how an employee can shift from employer A to employer B. Okay? The structure is well laid and it is a working structure. So the child also has got an opportunity of even climbing to the higher pasture. Because as a parent, you will also be proud. And that was my idea on this topic. Until next time, bye-bye for now.